Welcome to Unspoken Real Talk, where men come to talk, to heal, and to be heard. I'm your host and moderator, Pamela Coleman. Wednesdays at 7 p.m., we dive into the powerful, often unspoken conversations around men's mental health. From silent struggles to bold breakthroughs, this is a safe space where vulnerability is strength and real talk is the rule. With conversation that reflect the journey, the pain, progress, and peace, you'll see you're not alone. So pull up a chair, open your mind, and let's talk. This is Unspoken Real Talk.
All right.
Hello. Welcome in, everybody. We are Unspoken Real Talk, where men come to talk about everything mental, and everything that's around our men. I'm excited. I got my brother in the house.
Hey,
who got me started on all of this. You guys just don't know how much I appreciate him, but we won't go into that right now. You guys will learn about that later. Welcome in, bro.
Thank you, sis. I'm happy to join you. How's it going?
It's going. No complaints.
Hear that.
Look, no complaints on live. So, one, I want you to tell everybody about yourself because I know how amazing you are, but others may not know. And then you have a new project that's really kind of dealing with what we're talking about. I'm eager to hear about it.
Yeah. So again, thanks for the opportunity to join. Tonight, I'm excited to speak with you as always. But D.Jakolby Washington, I'm an author, entrepreneur, mental health advocate, autism awareness advocate, specifically in communities of color. So I wrote my first book in 2020 after the senseless killing of George Floyd. And then kind of my author life took off from there. I wrote my second book about my niece who was diagnosed with autism. And then from that book, launched a nonprofit called Friends of Zion, which supports children of color that have been impacted by autism or other neurodiverse disorders. So we support their families in national. I'm speaking those things that be not as though they are already. I said international.
That's okay. That's okay.
National nonprofit, maybe soon to be international. Who knows? That supports families that need the resources or need help kind of navigating the landscape around autism because it's a beast of its own, and especially if you are a person of color, oftentimes we don't get the resources that other folks get. I'll just say that, and so we wanted to act as a support system to them. So yeah, did that, and actually have finished my third book, and so hopefully we'll have that released probably sometime before the year ends. So we'll see. But yeah, really excited to join. And then as far as this new project, so with June being Men's Health Month and Men's Mental Health Month.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that it was imperative to do just a series of spoken word around men and mental health and all things that men deal with. I think oftentimes we suffer in silence. We wear this facade and we like to appear that we have it all together. We're so used to being the strong ones or the tough ones. And so the spoken word pieces, they challenge us on those things that we've been taught, those that type of mindset or those traditions and belief systems, if you will, that we've been taught from our parents, grandparents. These are things that are passed on, mentality that is passed on.
Yes.
Generation to generation. And I get it. We've had to, like I said, be the strong ones. We've had to mask our pain. And so I am a firm believer, though, that we don't have to do what our ancestors necessarily did, or we don't have to cope like our forefathers had to cope. And so I am a firm advocate that we can seek help, that we can speak out, that we can be our most authentic self. And in doing that, that means that you address your trauma, you address your pain, you find the resources and the support that that can help you in whatever situation it is that you're dealing with. So yeah, super excited about that. I've been releasing pieces throughout the month. I think I have maybe 3 more um, pieces to release, but it's gotten great feedback, and yeah, like I said, it speaks to the issues that men deal with.
Are you going to take, because I've seen the videos, but are you going to take them and turn them into an actual your book, or is that you just doing the video pieces of it?
People ask me that because I play around a little bit with poetry.
Mm-hmm.
I like to say that I'm a children's book author, and some of the poems are not children friendly.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's a good question. I've not decided what I'm going to do yet. A lot of people have been encouraging me to make a book of poems, or so we'll see. We'll see. It's just me writing and kind of pouring out my heart, things that I've dealt with, things that I've noticed people in my circle or my family, things that they've dealt with. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of writing my thoughts and allowing it to spill out via video. So we'll see.
Well, I did the same thing because I never thought I could do that. So I have one as I look around and I don't see it close by, but it's just poetry through pain.
Mm,
Not all of it was pain, but every time something hit me, it's just like it just and I noticed it, and then I probably lost maybe about 10 of them because I didn't know that's what was going on in the mind. And then I started writing them down or speaking them into the phone so that you could, yeah. So I did that. So it's out on Amazon. So put them together.
yeah, I think I may do that. One other thing that I'm considering is doing a journal for Black men,
Mhm.
specifically men that are over 40. And I'll just say this: I turned 40, and I felt like I was having a midlife crisis. I guess I was. I was like, what the world is going on? My emotions and things that used to didn't like phase me began to like bother me, and I started like really doing like an internal search. And I guess people say, you enter that new decade, and you begin to kind of reflect over your life. Have I done all the things that I've wanted to do, or am I at the place where I need to be at this age? Like those are the things that I feel like men deal with, or just people deal with really as you age. And so yeah, I'm really considering doing a journal of sorts to help with some like guiding prompts or whatnot to help
Mhm.
to really help us like walk through this journey of being 40 plus. Things that no one ever told me about turning 40 and turning 40 as a Black man. I want to be able to share with people that are about to turn 40 as well. So
You see my wheels rolling, right?
I see them. Oh, I
You
see
see,
'em.
and this happened the last time, the last one with Doctor. He was talking about he has been writing since he was 11,
Mm,
and he has all of his journals in a like a what do you call them, a Foot Locker.
hmm
So from there, while he was telling me, just like I'm getting ready to share with you, I was like, so why don't you, because this will be his second, he's released another book. I said, why don't you do, phases of Doctor? So you'd have the 11-year-old going across the page into now
mm,
and put those into the book. And he just sat there and went.
that's a great,
So
yeah,
what I got, what just popped into the brain for you? Are you ready?
Brandon.
Okay, so you were talking about a journal for men over 40. Each time for me, I think the hardest one was 30 for me. Something about leaving, everybody's all excited, dirty 30. Something about leaving 20s. I shut down.
Mm,
I had a rough time with it. So if your mindset is for those over 40 or those in their 40s, you could actually go 20, 30,
Mm,
40. You haven't gotten to 50 yet, but you could take them. The ones that are 20 could start, going from journaling from 20 into
hmm
30 into 40.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a great idea. It's a great idea. Yeah.
Wheels always
I
rolling.
love it.
So you've got work to do.
Right.
Just
Tons,
I'm just saying.
tons of it. Yeah.
So
Uh,
how did you come up with the poetry for the men's for this month? I mean, is it just something, the spoken word? Where did that come from?
yeah. Like I said, it derives from experiences that I've had, things like that I felt. Like I said, specifically turning 40.
Hmm.
Um, these are like feelings that I just really begin to confront. And then having gone through therapy and being in therapy, like trauma that I've had to deal with or to confront. Um, and so the poems kind of derive from that. All of the poems are not direct lived experience by me. Like I said, some of the things are derived from conversations I've had with friends or family members or things that I just know in the work that I do. Um, and so yeah, just begin to kind of reflect on those things and write my thoughts like unapologetically, unfiltered. So that's why I said they're not really children friendly, but they're real and raw, and I think that's important, specifically in spoken word. But I think it's important that we deal with the real situations that men are dealing with, the internal battles that we deal with on a day to day basis that we don't share with people, even those that are closest to us. I wrote a piece around like um, it's around like not being able to share in your friend circle. So it really deals with like what if you lost someone that you were incredibly close to, or something that they committed suicide or whatnot, um,
Right.
and you were incredibly close to this person, and then when you're at their funeral, you're like, damn, I wish they would have reached out. Well, oh, I wish I would have known. I wish they would have reached out. Well, it's hard. Men don't reach out. Men keep that stuff bottled in and tucked away, and they wear this front. But the poem challenges us to take off that mask to really deal with like what it is that we're going through. It's a it's really a confrontation or really a challenge to men to unmask those things and to really talk to those that are in your circles. It's not just, hey, what we doing tonight? What's the move for this weekend?
Oh,
But
watching the football game.
yeah,
Yeah.
like bro, are you okay? Like what's going on with you? How are you mentally? How are you physically? Are you taking care of your body? Are you eating well? Are you getting rest at night? Like what's like having those types of conversations
Hmm.
opposed to always like the surface level fun type things, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. I think there needs to be a healthy balance, but there should be no reason why we have friends that are dealing with trauma or committing suicide, and then we go back and look and like say, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that they were dealing with all of that. Well, why didn't you know? That type of
Because if you ask, then you feel like you're prying.
thing.
Um, and if you're comfortable enough to ask, they may not be comfortable enough to share because one, will you take it and run with it? Will you take it to the bar and tell all the boys sitting at the bar, and then it's just out. So you got that trust issue to help them
Yeah,
know that it's okay, but it's hard.
It is, but that makes me question, like, are our friendships or the people that we're calling friends, are they truly our friends? Because in my mind, I should be able to share my highs as well as my lows, my triumphs or my wonderful experiences as well as the ones that are challenging to me. And so I think that it's important that we really, so we do an inventory of those that we say are our brothers or our sisters. Like, if I'm not able to share with you and be my most authentic self without having to worry that you're going to take my stuff and spread it all over the community, like, no, that's not it. So the piece also challenges us to really look at those friendships as well, or the people that we're calling bro or sis, to really ensure that, okay, this is a safe space. Like, there's a line in there, in the poem that talks about, I should be able to hug my brothers or tell them I love them without it being, oh, no homo. Like why is that an issue? Like, why are we so, like, we're so stuck in this mindset that we can't be authentic and really love without it turning into something that is not. Like, take off that mask and be authentic. Like, that's my thing.
You got one that's agreeing with you on your screen.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely.
It's for, I guess, anyone, but we're gonna stick with the men, that if you find somebody that you can talk to, and it's not as soon, but if, let's say, we're talking and you telling me something and I go tell somebody, or just in general conversation, not realizing, that messes up, it just messes everything up. It's hard to find someone that you can sit down and talk to and not wonder if it's going to be gone, as soon as you guys separate or whatever, because you don't know who to trust.
Yeah, that's true. And I think that, it's important that you don't share your stuff with everybody. But I think it's just important that we really assess our friendships. And I think the other part of it is, yeah, it's difficult, but I also think that we carry this sense of fear or anxiety, and because we've been hurt in the past, like, there's this trauma response, like, because people have shared our stuff in the streets in the past. Let's say somebody comes into our lives and we begin to develop this friendship, then we're thinking in the back of our mind, and again, it may not be always the case, but sometimes in the back of our mind, we begin to think, well, dang, is this person going to take my stuff like the last person did? And so I think it's like this trauma response, and it affects our trust of other people. And so it impedes on our ability to really make and establish these true friendships where I can be open with you and you can be open with me. And I think that we have to also understand that it goes both ways. Now, I can't just be spilling all my stuff to you and you not coming to me and sharing anything as well. Like, no, this is a safe space for both of us. And so I think that, yeah, it absolutely takes time for those types of things to be built and established. But we gotta break down this wall. Like, it's not helping us at all to continue to hold this stuff in without having a healthy outlet, whether that be a friend circle, a family member, or a therapist. That's the other thing. That's the other piece. Like, if you can't find that safe space within your immediate friend circle, then, bruh, you need to go talk to a therapist, because it is not healthy to hold on to that weight of life. Like, life be life.
It does. But I was thinking about something, even, and I guess this is my own hang up because I've seen it. But even if you find that one person or the people that you can talk to, and you're friends for a minute, and you feel like you have that trust and you can have this conversation and you can share everything, as soon as that friendship falls off, everything is gone. Mm-hmm. I've seen it. I've witnessed it firsthand, that like this, right? and then the situation comes up and all their business is out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that doesn't help.
Yeah. It definitely doesn't help. And like I said,
You
that's
know, it just doesn't it's it's just hard.
yeah.
You
That's
you,
like
you
that.
just don't know.
That's like that trauma that I spoke about earlier. Like that, those are things that we've dealt with, and now it impedes on our ability to establish new friendships. And because we're always questioning now, will this person treat me like the last person treated me? Or will this person hurt me like the last person hurt me? But I also think that we just cannot continue to go through life living like that, like always on edge and always questioning, like, dang, is this gonna happen to me again? Like,
Mm-hmm.
those things hurt. Like, especially if it was a solid friendship, that hurt. I've had a couple of friends that I'm not tight with anymore, like that, and to sever that relationship hurt. It hurt, and we can't minimize that. It absolutely hurt, but I will also say, like, I can't live there. I can't have my I can't put my life on hold or allow me to my life to not experience the authenticity of new friendships or the realness of new relationships because of the trauma of my past, if that makes sense. So
It does, because even though, like I said, this is totally our men's channel, but I get it because I man, I got like walls that are just like right here,
mhm.
and
Hey,
they're about a mile thick, just because of um the things,
mhm.
just like be life, and like you said, so it's hard to bring them down because you don't know who's going to be the next person to basically f you up, and you have to. So it's
It's a real thing. Yeah, I get it. It's so real.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know how, as on the men's side of it, that if women struggle with trust in the way we do, how men could, you can't make it easy.
Mm-mm.
If the struggle is real for females who reach out and get help or ask for help, or have that girl circle or whatever, it's hard. How do you help the men?
Yeah, it takes time though. Like, I think that's the other piece. Like, none of these things are instantaneous, especially after you live through the hurt of a friendship that has been severed.
Mm-hmm.
It takes time to reestablish those trusts. I think that trust, but I also think that it's important, one, that you establish boundaries in new friendships. So like, hey, I'm establishing this friendship, but I'm not sharing everything all at once. The other part of it is I can't advocate enough for therapy and talking through those things, because there are certain um, practices or resources that are out there that can help people kind of walk through what that healing process looks like. And healing looks different for all of us. So I can say
Oh
I
yeah,
therapy and
and
boom,
some of us don't heal.
it exactly.
We
Don't.
and I said this one time when I was in Daytona. I have not healed from life traumas, you know, but I've improved.
Mm-hmm.
I've improved. There's still things that, the biggest thing for me, which I don't know if I ever grew out of it or whatever, is like if we're having a conversation and you raise your voice,
Mm-hmm.
even though you might not be doing it, intentionally, you might be hyped up or whatever, and it seems like it's directed at me, I will shut down. I
Mm-hmm.
will shut down. I will stop talking. And I have not, I mean, we're talking 40 plus years. And that's something, I know that I deal with it. I know how to handle it, but it's not something you can, you can say healed. For me, I can never say that I'm healed. I can only say that I'm improved.
Yeah, and that's the key though, recognizing that I'm not where I used to be, and that
Hmm.
like, you cannot stay there. I don't. things have happened in my past that, like I said, hurt. But
Right.
I am not there. I don't live there. I don't subscribe to the hurt of that place. I am improving, and it's a daily journey. Like some days I may wake up and I'm like, oh, I don't feel like that, or I may see something on TV, or just somehow get a reminder of that situation. But I can't allow that to derail my day today, because I've been gifted this day. That was in the past. I've been gifted this day. And so it is
Mm-hmm.
me to make this day one of the best days of my life. And so so I think that it's important that we acknowledge, yeah, sometimes we don't always heal from the situation, but it is imperative that we don't stay there, that we improve.
Right.
And
We
it's
don't stand there, because that's what I was saying. What is it? We just got us a t-shirt now. Um, I'm not healed, but I'm improved.
mm-hmm,
But can you say you're healed? The only thing for me is an actual cut can heal, because you can always have something that sets you back,
mm-hmm,
whether you want to or not, or something to take you back from, all the way back. So
mm-hmm,
do we ever really heal?
mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's a great question to to ponder on. I think that you it just kind of depends on who you ask and what day.
Yeah.
I just took this class, and it's called peer recovery specialist, and so essentially is the gist of it is we support people that have had some drug use history or whatnot, and
Mm-hmm.
a recovered state. And so we like walk with them to like be their support system. In the instance that they feel like they're going to relapse or they do relapse. And one of the principles talks about, like, I don't care if you've been in sobriety for 2 months or 20 years, it can take one thing to trigger you and cause you to relapse. But the key is, again, not staying in that place. So it's like that question that you just asked about, do we ever heal? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of just it depends on who you're asking. Like, if you ask the person that was a former addict, or a person that was a former alcoholic, are they healed from that? You never know. Like, again, it depends on who you ask. But like I said, it could take one thing to trigger that relapse, and you could have taken that 20 years or that 2 months, however long it is that you've been in sobriety, it's now kind of falling by the wayside. But the key again is to not stay in that space. To get up, they teach you this in that certification class. Like, you get up and you keep moving. It's just another notch in my belt. I
Mm-hmm.
stay in that place. I'm gonna get up and try to press forward.
I was like, I was listening to you, but right under your arm, I saw something moving. But I see we've gotten comfortable. I was like, wait, what?
You
He
didn't
still got
hear. I
comfortable.
was like, please stop with this toy.
Um, I know you got a meeting, but I wanted to say or mention one thing. You said something about your nonprofit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm coming to you to learn how to do this, because next year I want to set it up so that if you say you want to go to therapy,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't have the money for therapy, that there's something there that you can reach out to us and
I love.
get a voucher or something to at least get you started, so that there's no, as my exercise people that are in here, there's no excuses why you can't get the help.
That's right. That's right.
So now that I have my brother who is actually have one, because the people I've talked to didn't have one, so
Mm-hmm.
they didn't know how to get me started. So
Well, I got you. So yeah,
we just have to add that to the list.
let's go. Let's get it started. And I love that. that whole idea and that concept around providing support for those that don't have the resources to seek therapy, because it is so important in our community. I think that we don't. I think now that the mindset around going to a therapist is
Mm-hmm.
to shift, but again, we're still light years behind, and
Oh
so
yeah. Oh yeah.
we gotta sit on somebody's couch or sit in a virtual space. But the key is just talking it out, letting those emotions go. We hold on to so much. That's why we have hypertension. We got diabetes. It's not just our eating. Yeah, that's a huge part of it. But sometimes we got to look at, well, why am I eating so much? Why is it that every time I am frustrated, or every time I get in an argument, I go to the fridge and I am binging all of this candy and cakes and pies, and I'm overeating and doing those things. Like it could be a trauma response, a stress response. And so like
I'm a stress eater, so I
yeah,
get it.
we
Yeah.
got to acknowledge those things, why we do some of the things that we do. It's not just
Mm-hmm.
do them because we like to do them, but there's a reason as to why we indulge in some of these things that can be detrimental to our overall health. So yeah, I love that idea.
Well, then we got a project.
Let's do it.
So you can be on time for your meeting, and the next time I'm gonna keep you on here longer. But you know how we work. What is one thing you want your viewers to take away?
Great question. It's a few things, but I'll say this.
See, payback. Because you remember you asked me that question. I was like,
I know. I'll just share that it is important that, and it's what we've just been talking about, therapy. It is important that you don't live in that place of hurt. It is important that you don't stay there, because if we stay stuck in this space of hurt, in this space of unforgiveness, in this space that of isolation or depression or whatever it is that you want to package it as, and we stay in that spot. Remember, life is going to keep going on, and
mm-hmm,
and and sometimes it will leave it. Well, not sometimes, it's going to leave us. It's going to leave us behind.
mm-hmm,
But I think that we miss out on so many experiences to experience the fullness of life, the fullness of great relationships, the fullness of falling in love with somebody, the fullness of traveling and doing all of these great things, or having these experiences, because we're stuck in a place of hurt. And because I was hurt, I can't trust this new person, or I can't do this, or I can't have this experience. We make all of these reasons as to why we can't do these things, because we are stuck in this space of hurt. You may not heal totally from it, but like
mm-hmm.
I said, it is important that you begin to improve, and that does not happen overnight. Don't get me wrong, it does not happen overnight, but one step at a time. And sometimes it is incumbent of us to take advantage of the resources that are around us. And one of those resources is therapy. And so, yeah, talk to somebody. If you don't have that confidant in a family member or a friend, there's a therapist out there, or someone, maybe if you're in the religious space, a pastor or whomever. Find that person that you can share and get some of that hurt and get some of that stuff that you're holding on to, get some of that stuff out of you.
See, so we're gonna have my brother back on. He's a busy individual. He has meetings and stuff like that. Yep.
Yeah.
So we will have him back on, and because he has more to share. And I will post your Instagrams and all that good stuff so that people can find you. And then when I come up there and we have the lunch, we'll call it a business lunch, and we both can write it off. and and we can do the nonprofit, get that nonprofit going for 2026.
Absolutely. Thank you, sis. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for coming. And I will definitely, whenever you want to come back on, just yell. I'll make a space for you. If the calendar is booked like it is, I will make a space for you.
Awesome. I appreciate you.
Thank you, friend.
Thank you.